Hey everybody, welcome back for some more of that dungeon, which is considered to be considerably aphotic. So much so, in fact, that it might be considered the most aphotic of the dungeons. It's been a while since the last time I recorded, and we've had some new suggestions for names, so our very first order of business is going to be to take care of those. Kind of going down the list here, we have our first character who has had a name suggested, which is Mr. Sordaval here. And the name that we're going to be giving him is Baril. So we now have Baril on our team. You may recognize him as Andrew Maston from the XCOM series. But, yeah. So he is back, our mech trooper from XCOM, as our bounty hunter. So that's kind of cool. Asmodeus was also in the XCOM series as our best sniper, so you might recognize that name as well. Then we're going to go down to Paracard here. And let me just look at my notes, because I took notes this time to make sure I got all these right and didn't have to stop in the middle of the video to be like, oh crap, did I forget any names? I thought about it this time, so we're okay. Alright, and we're going to call the Hellion here. I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Matafleur? It's going to be Matafleur. Matafleur, however it's pronounced. I'm not familiar with the character. Apparently this is the name of a character from, I think it was Dragonlance. The Dragonlance novels. I'm not 100% on that. But I believe that was who I was told this name was taken from. As for color, let's see. Why don't we just go with the default for now? And then we have one more character who is pretty much ready to be named, and that is Machi here. As I indicated on the Facebook page for any of you that follow that, I had determined that certain characters were probably ready for names at this point. I believe it was the Houndmaster, the Man-at-Arms, the Arbalist, and the Bounty Hunter. And the Highwayman is probably ready for a name too, so if anyone has ideas for names for the Highwayman, let me know. Our Man-at-Arms here is going to be named Morgan after one of my role-playing characters. This was suggested to me as being an appropriate name for him, and I agreed, so we're going to go ahead and use it. Okay, now, before I do anything, do I want to treat Pistress's ennui? No. It's just ennui, I'm not too worried about it. What does Vitalis have? She has vampiric spirits. That's not great either, but it's something we can live with, so I'm not super worried about it. Okay, we'll go ahead and sort our trinkets here. And then we're going to dive back into the missions here. I think we need to go do something. Okay, you guys are not going to go on that mission. Okay, so what do we need to accomplish? We have a bunch of new people who probably need to get levels up. So we probably need to take, I would say probably take 2 of them. And then that should probably be good. The only question is, where are we going? I don't really want to go on a medium mission with newbies, so it's kind of down between these two. We have an exploration, and we have a skirmish. I think I'm going to do the skirmish here. Oh, wait, that's right. They won't serve together. Well, I guess you're going to be the one who doesn't go with us then, Mr. New Crusader. Because, yeah, that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. I really wish that skill could be used from further back than the first 2 spots, because it would be really useful outside of the torch reduction, but I don't know. Ordinarily, I would probably get Weakening Curse for this guy. Oh god, he has Sacrificial Stab, too. Ugh. Alright. You know what? I was just about to say that I don't generally like doing this, but considering how bad this guy's skills are, I think I need to do some purchasing here. Let's see. Well, obviously I want Abyssal Artillery to replace Sacrificial Stab, so he actually has something that does damage. Obviously we're bringing Word Reconstruction. We might actually be able to go without the marking skill, because I don't think we're going to be bringing anybody who can take advantage of marks. Like, this party is going to be led by Morgan, and then it's going to have the Abomination and the Occultist. So it kind of depends on which damage I bring. And I would probably bring either Sigmund or Vitalis, who can mark their own targets, but at the same time it is generally better to have multiple marking options when you're kind of relying on mark damage, basically. So maybe we just replace Abyssal Artillery for now, and then we don't worry about the Weakening Curse, because that was the thing I was going to say. I don't really want to go so far as to spend money on him just to replace that, because he may not survive this mission. It's entirely possible. So I think we at minimum we kind of need to replace Sacrificial Stab, because otherwise he's going to be completely useless to us. But I think we should be fine from there. Okay, so he can do everything from the third position, so the third position is probably pretty good for him. The Abomination is best in the second position, I've found. That way you can take advantage of his skills in human form. And, well, you guys will see what the whole transformation thing is about, because if you're not familiar with Darkest Dungeon, then you may not have seen this guy. He's probably, I think he's the rarest of the classes, so it's going to be interesting. I will tell you that much. Huh, okay, now we need to decide what we're going to give everybody. There's a lot of beasts here, but I don't know if I necessarily want that. I believe you have a stunning skill, if I'm not mistaken. You do. So we'll give you the stun amulet. Reduces your dodge, but I'm okay with that. And we're going to give you this for max hit points, because you're not very fast anyway, so hindering your speed does not bother me especially much. We're going to give you the Shimmering Cloak. I don't really know what to give you, because your speed's already probably going to be low, because the torch is going to be... Because I'm not going to have the torch very high. I guess I could give you this, and then if we run into any animals, you could destroy them for us. So, yeah, I guess we'll do that. And I don't really want to give you any trinkets, because there's nothing that's really good for you, so... Let's switch around our skills before we go out. I don't want to forget to do that. You know what? I'm not going to have him anywhere near the first two slots, so why don't we give him Sacrificial Stab? That way, at least if he happens to get moved into the third spot or something, then he has that as an option. Other than Vulnerability Hex, he can do some kind of damage. Actually, can you operate from the back? You totally can. Yeah, I think I'll do this. And then we'll just have you be in the back. And then we don't really need to worry about it too much. Is everyone else good on skills? I don't even think you can turn any of his off. Can you? No, you can't. Good on skills, good on skills. Alright, looks like we're good. Provision time. Okay, so this is the Wield. And it's a short one, so let's bring 10 food and 6 torches. The Wield tends to have more things you have to worry about with shovels, so I'm going to bring 3 shovels. There's a lot of anti-venom curios, so we'll bring 3 anti-venom. There's also a fair amount of bandage curios and bandage bleed, so we're going to bring 4 bandages. We always bring a single key. In this case, we're going to bring 2 because we might run into heirloom chests. Herbs are good here, so we'll bring 3 of those. And there's not really anything that calls for holy water. There's one thing I can think of, so we'll bring 1. But other than that, we're not really going to worry about it. And I think this is probably good. Yeah, I think we're set. Let's go. Alright, back into the forest with some new characters. Let's see how this goes.
Corruption has soaked the soil, sapping all good life from these groves. Let us burn out this evil.
Alright, so right away we get some extra food. 8 food to be exact, and we also get some treasure. Guess we didn't really need to bring the holy water, because we just got one, but there's no way of knowing that. Okay, that's bad.
Ambushed by foul invention.
How much is that going to do to him? 6 damage? Yeah, that's going to take a fair amount of his health, so we'll go ahead and...
is struck. A blazing star is born.
We'll go ahead and anti-venom him there, and let's see what's in this room. Nothing. Okay. Moving on. Not a huge fan of this layout, because I kind of have to choose 2 different directions here, but I think we can make it work. I think keys will work on these left luggages, but you can also use anti-venoms. I think I'm going to use the key. Okay, that's pretty good treasure there, and here's one of the obstacles that we're worried about.
A victim to the spreading corruption. Malformed with misintent.
But we got through that pretty well. Alright, got some scouting, good. Okay, well, there's basically no reason to go this way. So I guess what we're going to do is we're going to go this way, and we have to fight 4 battles. My god. I guess that's what we get for not running into any battles to this point, so... more food. Lol. Maybe I probably should have skipped that, because we have way too much food now. But we just got a hunger check, so... there you go, I guess. We'll go ahead and get that out of the way. Use another torch. This room has a fight in it, correct? Yes. And this will kind of initiate a rather hellacious-looking stretch for us, because fight, curio, fight, curio, fight, fight. We're going to have to fight like 4 battles in quick succession, so I'm hoping we're going to be up to the task. Let's see. How much damage does he do to these guys? 3 to 6, 4 to 8 on that one. I think what I'm going to have him do is mark one of these guys. That way we can do some extra damage to that one. What's their blight resistance? Pretty high. So why don't we go for a stun? Yeah, stun resist is only 25%, so we've got a pretty good shot at that. Get the bleed. Nice. Let's see, I could go for the bellow, or I could go for the stun. I think I'm going to go for the stun. Okay, he's stunned. So now we don't have to worry about them beating the crap out of us in this first turn. We pretty much just have to worry about the fungal artillery. Fungal artillery. Sorry about that. And we don't have to worry about the marked character getting his ass beat, which is good. Let's go ahead and do a Visceral Artillery. Got one down. Unfortunately, it was the marked one, so that kind of makes life a little more difficult for us, but it's okay. It's a dead one. I'm not going to complain about having a dead one. Let's see. How much damage can you do to him? 4 to 7. That's not going to kill, so why don't we do this? We'll just get some bleed stacking on all of them. Alright, you're about to get rend. You're about to get torn to shit by these guys using Rend the Marked. So why don't you guard the Abomination to up your protection? Yep, here it comes.
Such a terrible
That's a terrible start.
Cannot be left unanswered.
That's a little more manageable. And he's stunned, so I don't gotta worry about him. Alright. The Houndmaster should be able to kill him. so I think we go with a heal here. 3, that's not great. Let's see. Houndmaster should be able to finish him, so why don't we have you stun this one? That's unfortunate. Okay, Houndmaster, do your work. Okay, minimum damage, but the bleed should be enough to kill it.
Slowly,
Yep.
gently. This is how a life is taken.
There's another nasty hit. Still guarded, and you're still got 25% protection for 2 rounds. They don't have particularly high dodge, do they? No, they don't. Okay. Let's stun this one.
Well struck.
That should be a stun. Yep. Okay. Alright, you're gonna try again, and you did worse. That's nice. Oh, that's why I am not a huge fan of weird reconstruction. It's just not reliable, man. Okay. Well, let's try and stun this guy. There we go. Do I go for the bleed here? They've got high protection, so I think stacking... Never mind. Okay. I guess that's not gonna work. Why don't you go ahead and guard him, because you don't have a mark anymore, so they might go after the Abomination. This way you have extra protection, so you won't take nearly as much damage. 2 damage, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Alright. I don't really want to have you transform yet, because this isn't really a combination that scares me very much now, because we dealt with the main problem of the fungal artillery marking us, so I don't think it's really necessary for you to transform. Alright, we got some bleed on there. You're gonna try again. Wow, okay. Well, on the bright side, it can't get any worse. I was gonna be real mad if that crit. Just to spite me. Okay. We need to start doing some damage. These things are taking too long to die. Okay, that's pretty good. Alright. You can't do any worse. You crit for 6. Okay. That's not much of a crit, but I'll take it. You could kill him if you hit him with your chains. Just go ahead and do that.
Is broken.
Okay, now we just gotta get this one down, so let's just go ham on him here. Alright, it's over.
Onslaught. Destroy them.
And we got still more food. Okay, we're gonna eat some of this food. We got too much damn food. We do not need nearly this much. Okay. Alright, and into the Hell Corridor. Okay, you came from nothing, but you'll not end with nothing. You might, however, end with poison on you. Apparently not. It's your lucky day. Alright. This is not a fun group. I think this is probably going to be our opportunity to transform. So yeah, he turns into this awesome, like, horned werewolf man. It's pretty fucking sweet. Go ahead and hit her. That's okay damage. Accusation on the guy who's the most stressed out. That's kind of bad. Okay. Definitely Abyssal Artillery here. We only get those 2 in the back down before we deal with anything else. Hound's Harry should kill the Acolyte and bleed the Man-Man. The Man-Man. The Madman is what I meant to say there. I feel like Bellow's a good choice here. Bellow or Guard? I think I'm gonna do Bellow. Of course, the guy I wanted to hit it with it the most, it missed. All right, you're gonna get your ass beat a little bit here. Okay, targeted damage specifically on this guy. Okay, he is gonna die next round, so we don't have to worry about him anymore. He's gonna shout some gibberish at us. and stress us out, because what the hell is that man saying? It sounds bad. Do I want to bother using Sacrificial Stab here? Probably not. I don't really necessarily need any healing. Ideally, I'd like to get stress healing going, but we don't really have any targeted stress heals aside from what the Abomination has for himself. So I guess what we do then is we pick one of these and we mark them. Let's mark this guy. He's got more health. Okay. And we're going to start raking. You'll notice that increases the amount of damage that the Abomination does with the rake skill. So basically that is a spammable cleave ability you can kind of use. Let's go ahead and do a guard and get your protection up. Good dodge. 2 damage, not bad. Certainly manageable. Okay. Let's go ahead and use our... Never mind.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Okay. Alright, I think I could probably justify a heal here. We're not in too bad a shape on damage. Heal him. 11. Nice. Good roll. Fantastic roll, in fact. Okay. Go ahead and cleave. Let's stun the one that's got more health. Here comes another swipe. We dodged it, which is excellent. I don't think he can attack from back there, so I think we've probably wasted one of his turns. Do we want to mark him again? Yeah, let's mark him again. Could have probably done some damage with Abyssal Artillery, but I'm not worried about it. Okay, I don't want to kill the corpse, so why don't we do just the normal attack here. Rage. And then you finish him off. Or not. Okay. Houndmaster, can you be the hero we deserve? You can, because the bleed's going to kill him.
By inches.
Bleed's going to kill the corpse, too, unfortunately, but he goes first. Unfortunately, the bleed got the kill, so there was no corpse left by the other mushroom man. Fungal Scratcher, apparently, is what they're called. Okay, you are kind of up there on stress, and we don't really need your damage anymore, so we're going to change you back to normal. You get some health, everybody else gets some de-stress. You will de-stress yourself. And let's just go ahead and get the kill.
Give them no quarter.
Ooh, I've heard about these. I've never gotten one of these in my other game. Okay, this is a very rare drop you can sometimes get from Madmen. There are 3 different ones. They are music boxes. This is probably, from what I know about them... I didn't even know about these until I randomly saw something about them in another... I think it was another Darkest Dungeon video, because I watch a lot. I watch at least as much Darkest Dungeon as I play. I'm kind of obsessed with this game right now. But I didn't know about these until I saw something about it, and I was like, what the hell? I've never gotten one of those. I've killed, like, 20, 30 madmen in my other game, so... That's kind of cool that I just got one of those. Alright, well, I want to save some inventory space, so why don't we go ahead and... take this, equip it on you. And then we'll go over to you. Take this, equip it on you. Because you're already above 50 on stress, so probably a good idea to try and avoid having you get any worse. Alright, and we'll use the bandages on this. Okay, that's pretty good. There's another fight. We surprised him. That's good for us. Alright, 2 options here. I can either kind of go with AoE damage, get them all low, or I can do sort of a targeted focus on the Fusilier, who is arguably the most dangerous of these 3 targets. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So we'll get him bleeding. We need to do 5 more damage. That would do 3 to 6. That would do 4 to 7. Let's do it. Alright, we fell just short, but we can bellow. Did just enough damage. He is going to die. And then you go ahead and stun... Guess it doesn't really matter. This one. And now we're only going to have to eat 1 attack. And it did 8 damage. Which is kind of significant.
Death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Alright, so... He's already been stunned, so stun this guy. He resisted, that's bad. Let's see. They both have the same amount of health. Just go ahead and stab him.
A decisive pummeling.
Good crit. Alright, and we'll hit him with a dog in the face. And let's see, how much will that do? 2 to 3, 4 to 8. Is there an accuracy difference? This one is more accurate, so let's use this one. Okay, he's done. Bye. Bye. You bled to death.
This expedition
and we are
at
out of
least
room.
promises success.
Do we have the whole thing scouted? We do, but the treasure chest in here is probably an heirloom chest. Well, the most likely thing we're not going to need is the holy water, so let's go ahead and give our newbies some extra resistances for this fight coming up. And we'll take the gold. Okay, we are still at Radiant Light. We do not need to use a torch. And that's exactly what I thought would be in here. Not the monsters, but the chest. That's a good dodge. Okay, Abyssal Artillery. That's not a good dodge. Well, I could blight her, but I think it's more important to transform here. Because we need to start wrecking these things quickly. Starting with you. 1 damage, alright. So we can do a bellow and kill her. Eldritch Pull is bad, especially when it pulls him all the way up like that. Groping Swipe is not great. That would move you forward again, and it would kill her. Kind of waste the stun, but we do get the kill. But we have the Houndmaster still to go, so why don't we stun this guy? Okay, we got the stun. Houndmaster, be the hero we deserve. Excellent. Okay, Groping Swipe on the freaking Occultist again. He is now down to half health. Oh my god. They hate that man. They hate that man. We could do damage. I think we're gonna heal though. That is exactly what I wanted. Now you're back in the game. Alright, can you like pound the shit out of this guy with your head? You can. It's not gonna do quite as much damage. It's gonna really reduce his dodge and his speed, both of which are already 0. Well, you can't really reach the back row, so I guess you're gonna damage this guy. Go ahead and focus your damage on the Acolyte here. Here comes a Groping Swipe. 5 damage, nothing apocalyptic. How much would this do to you? 1 to 1, so it's not gonna, so we cannot kill you. Can we kill you? You're gonna take bleed damage, and let's just stun this guy. I was a little worried the stun was gonna get resisted if the movement did, but we're okay. Okay, she's dead. Don't need to worry about her anymore. Do need to worry about my Abomination stress levels. And also his health levels, so we'll give him a heal. Between the Houndmaster and my Man-at-Arms, I could probably kill him. So we'll do 4 damage. We'll transform you back, because we're gonna have like one mushroom man left after this, so let's just focus you on stress healing yourself. Okay. She's dead, don't need to worry about her. He needs to take 4 more damage, and you're almost guaranteed to do that. Unless you miss. Why did I say it? The best laid plans. Okay, well, I don't really need to heal, and Abyssal Artillery is kind of a waste, so I could mark this guy so he'll take more damage from the Hound Master, and the Man-at-Arms could probably kill this dude, so let's mark this guy. Alright, marked and debuffed. Fantastic. Yeah, Man-at-Arms should have him handled. Of course, that's what I thought about the Hound Master last round, but whatever. RNG can only fuck me for so long. Groping Swipe. 5 damage, that's something we can deal with. Groping Swipe. Good dodge. You're gonna Absolution heal yourself. Get that stress down. As long as we get it down around 50, I think we're good. Okay, he's done. Now we just gotta deal with this guy. Alright. Go ahead and mark. I guess that's kind of a waste, but because I don't think their dodge can go below 0. But whatever. I'm not too worried about it. Do damage. He's done. It's over. Fight's over. Little stress heal. That'll get you down around 50, 58. That's not great, but it'll work. Why don't you yell it to death? Rah! Oh, you didn't kill it. Damn it. In my other game, I was fighting...
Victory, but a victory nonetheless.
I'm talking here, dude. Goddamn. In my other game, I came up against... What was it? There's a boss, which you guys have not seen yet, which has... I don't really want to spoil anything, so I won't go into any details, but suffice it to say, it's a boss in the wheel that it has very high protection. Took me forever to bring it down. It was like 30 rounds because it was like the hardest variety of that boss. And I ended up yelling it to death, which I thought was very funny considering what it was. Story probably does not have nearly as much effect unless I tell you what it is, but like I said, I don't want to spoil it, so I'll try to remember that story when we encounter it, so I can kind of revisit it. I'm sure I won't, but who cares? Well, if we get one more Jade, then that's going to be more value than the Onyx, but if we get one more Onyx, that's way more value than the Jades. You know what? Food. We have way too much food. Let's eat all that we can. Is anyone else missing any health? No. Alright. We're going to trade in the food for the Onyx. And we might have to do another trade here pretty soon, because... Oh, I keep forgetting to use the damn dog treats. I always forget that. We'll unlock this chest. There's a shovel, a citrine, more frickin' food, and a jade. Alright. That's not really what I wanted out of that. I wanted heirlooms, but whatever. We can always turn around, because we still got a couple torches, and we have like 12 food, so hanging around is not really going to be too dangerous for us. Unless, of course, a random collector shows up in our way. Then we're kind of in trouble. Because we're a little stressed and the collector can come... Oh my god. Like I've said before, I always do these after eating. Never turns out well. I don't know why I keep doing it. Well, actually, I do know why I keep doing it. Because I don't want to do them hungry and be like, I want food. But whatever. Hunger! We'll go ahead and eat. Pop a torch. Mr. Sigmund will open up another pack without me telling him to do so. At least this one, there's not really anything bad that can happen to you, so we're good. Alright, we got an extra shovel, so we can get past this. We will go in this empty room, and then we have 2 battles and 2 curios, and we're done. Alright, battle number 1. 2 spiders. Alright. One spider. Stun spider. And after a tiny bit of a delay, Nun spider. Ooh.
Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
I like that. I'm gonna use the torch and take the mask. Unfortunately, I don't have a leper, so I can't equip it to save inventory space. So I wish I knew what the frickin'. Okay, let me go through it here. What could it be? It could be a bandage thing. It could be an anti-venom thing. It could be a shovel thing. It could be any of the curio interactions I currently have, or holy water, which I do not have. Dog treats I'm probably not going to remember to use, so why don't I trade them out? Alright, we got a couple of slimes. So let's go ahead and take them out. We get the bleed? No, I don't even think those things... Yeah, those things can't really be bled. Let's stun this guy, because I don't think we're going to have enough damage to kill both. And then... you kill him if you hit him. There you go. I keep forgetting. I need to really switch their places. Let's do that now, because he's stunned, so we don't need to worry about him. And he's only got a speed of 1, so he will not go before any of my guys. And crush him. Nice. Alright, battles are done.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled.
Sigmund is opening yet another pack without my permission. It's already been looted. Yeah, that's what you get. Piece of shit. Alright. Stashed heirlooms. We have just enough room for that. And we're done. There's nothing else. I mean, we might as well just go into this room real quick. There's nothing here, but we can just go in and see what's going on. There's a nice little shack. Bunch of dead things in front of it. But, alright, looks like we're good. That's gonna wrap it up. So let's get out of here.
The agents of pestilence will yet be driven from our woods.
Pretty good first mission for Rue the Occultist and... what's his name, the Abomination? His name started with an L and it ended with an I. That's all I can remember. And we got a pretty good amount of heirlooms and treasure. That was a good run. Good run, if I do say so myself. It was Linessi. Okay. Well, let's see what you got, Linessi. You're a bad gambler. Well, I guess we never take you gambling, then. Morgan is now balanced, which gives him move resistance. That's awesome. Rue is also now a bad gambler. That's weird. They're like... man, these two are like bros. I need to make sure they always go together, because they're both bad gamblers. They joined us on the same week, went on the same first mission, and they both got the same negative quirk. I'm guessing Morgan and Sigmund probably took them for all they're worth, and that's why they're bad gamblers now. And he also got Warrior of Light, which is fucking amazing for me because I always keep my torch high. I am thinking about looking at maybe doing some lower light or low torch runs once I get a little stronger, you know, get some momentum going. But right now, that's not a concern. Right now, the concern is getting everybody
There is a great
awesome.
horror beneath the manor. A crawling chaos that must be destroyed.
A crawling chaos. That sounds like a problem. Oh, hey, the survivalist is now unlocked, and so is the Nomad Wagon. Why? What did I do to trigger that? I'm confused. Oh well. What the hell does Zolberg have? He has hysterical blindness. We might want to clear that off because we just had some pretty good money come in, so we might want to consider that. But right now, let's see what's in the Nomad
and
Wagon.
Charms gathered from all the forgotten corners of the earth.
Nothing I care about.
At home in wild places, she is a stalwart survivor and a strict instructor.
Okay, so this chick right here is where you go to train camping skills. This is, in my other playthrough, this is the last thing I worried about upgrading, because, honestly, camping skills, probably of everything in the estate, camping skill changes are probably the thing you need to worry about the least. You can make do with your camping skills, to a point. At least that's what I found. Others may disagree with me on that, but generally I found the survivalist to be the least important thing to upgrade, so I usually do not worry about upgrading her until everything else is pretty much set. I did the same with the Nomad Wagon, but the Nomad Wagon you could probably say is a little more important because you can buy some pretty useful trinkets from there if you're not able to get them through doing dungeons. So, she is probably a little bit more of a priority than the survivalist, but I would still say you probably want to get your stagecoach up and running first. That way you can get a full roster of heroes going. Then you want to worry about the guild and the blacksmith. And then you probably worry about the tavern and the abbey. And then the sanitarium would be after those, because at least for the treatment ward, you don't really need to worry about removing quirks quite as much early on. Because the idea is you're kind of building towards the darkest dungeon, and you don't really need to worry about keeping characters around. Now, in my case, I am worrying about it, because I'm letting people name characters, so I don't want to kind of discard them if they end up going wrong. So I am kind of worrying about it, but thus far it really hasn't bit me. So we'll see how that goes, but so far I haven't had too much trouble with it. Anyway, we've got 20 deeds. We have a new grave robber. Let's see if we can expand our roster enough to recruit her. We also have a jester, which we don't have that either. So if we could get a +2 on our roster, that'd be fantastic. We can get a +3 on our roster, that'd be even better. Let's do it.
Great heroes can be found even here, in the mud and rain.
Alright, so we will recruit Ellers.
To those with a keen eye, gold gleams like a dagger's point.
We will recruit Bellicott.
He will be laughing still at the end.
Who is apparently insane. And, how many Vestals do we have? 1, 2... we got 2 occultists. Let's see. So we've got 4 healers right now. And we got 1, 2, 3 tanks. I feel like I should probably wait for a tank to recruit that last slot, so I'm going to let these guys kind of hang out. Let's see what our new characters have. Fast healer, sickly. Good assortment of skills. Those are all pretty useful. Shadow Fade is probably in this particular configuration not especially useful because with Grave Robber with this set of skills I would probably keep her in the 3rd position, and you can't use Shadow Fade there, but if anything happens to shift the party around, then if she gets stuck in front she can use Shadow Fade to move back, so not really any need to change her skills. Bellicott has Fangophobia, which is terrible. Cove Adventurer, which reduces stress damage in the cove, so I guess those would kind of cancel themselves out if I took Bellicott on a cove mission. And has Deadly, which is actually pretty good for a jester. Has the 2 best jester skills in my opinion, which are Battle Ballad and Inspiring Tune. Has Harvest, which is probably the best damage skill in terms of just stacking bleed on people. Slice Off is also very good, so I might look at recruiting that, or grabbing that. And then it has Dirk Stab, which is just basically the normal attack, so it's not really very special. Did I look at you? Yeah, that's right, you had the yips, I remember. The yips. Which is a very funny thing to say, I like saying it. Alright, let's sort by level. And what do I need to do? I got a lot of people with diseases, but they're not like game-breaking diseases, so I'm not really worrying about them right now. If I was going to cure anybody, it'd probably be Ulbrecht. And speaking of Ulbrecht, we do not have enough portraits to do anything there. And we just used our deed, so I'm doubting we can do anything here. Yeah, we can just reduce the cost, which isn't really that important. If I'm doing anything, it's going to be upgrading armor smithing. So, one thing we can do is we can bring Dismas in here, and we can upgrade his weapons, because he's kind of our second most experienced guy. So I think he's probably earned that. Joan of Arc doesn't really need weapons or armor as of yet, so I'm not going to worry about her. And everybody else I'd want to get to at least second level resolve before I upgraded them. Now, as for skills, can we do anything there? I'm actually not a huge fan of what Ulbrecht has right now. I generally like to go with Inspiring Cry on Crusaders. That way I have a stress heal mechanic, because stress heal mechanics are pretty valuable. So why don't we go ahead and buy him Inspiring Cry, buy the Zealous Accusation upgrade, and buy the Inspiring Cry upgrade. He's probably not going to see a mission for a while because he's 3rd level and I don't have anyone else who can do medium missions with him. He's got a lot of bad shit. Wow. Jeez. Alright. I guess we'll need to take a look at that at some point. Let's take a look at Dismas while we're here. I like all of Dismas's skills, I think. I like the bleed. Eventually what I will be doing with Dismas is probably giving him the when I get it. There's like a buckle item he can get, which is a very rare item. Which increases his range damage and reduces his melee damage. So I'm probably going to want to build him long term to be a ranged damage dealer. The only things I might want to look at investing in at some point are Point Blank Shot and Duelist's Advance, because those can make a pretty nice wombo combo for you. But for now, I think we will buy the extra pistol shot. Do I want to do the grape shot? Increases the accuracy. I think we'll just do the pistol shot for now. And there's not really, I don't think, anyone else I want to look at. Let's look at everybody here real quick. I don't particularly like lick wounds. I usually favor blackjack or something like guard dog or cry havoc. Basically anything but lick wounds. Joan of Arc, what does she have again? She has Mace Bash, which sucks, so let's go ahead and buy her Divine Comfort and upgrade it. Let's upgrade Judgment as well, because Judgment is good. Pistris has pretty much everything but Judgment, so let's buy Judgment. Asmodeus is pretty much good. The only thing I could consider on him is Daemon's Pull, which I don't usually like to use on occultists. I usually like to go these 4 right here. So, not really going to worry about Daemon's Pull at the moment. Baril could probably benefit from an upgrade. All of his other skills I'm not really worried about getting anything new at the moment. Sigmund I already looked at. Morgan is pretty much good. Bertrand, I don't really like suppressing fire. I prefer Bola Shot. Let's get Bola Shot. Matafleur does not have Adrenaline Rush. We are buying that. The other thing I could think of buying is Iron Swan, but we're going to hold off on that for now. Doctor Strange is already configured the way I like him, I believe. Oh wait, there is one thing I was advised to do, which is buy Battlefield Medicine, so I will do that. And then we will have that option to switch to if, in fact, we find ourselves needing a spot heal somewhere. Vitalis also has Suppressing Fire and does not have Sniper's Mark, so let's buy Sniper's Mark. Linessi, who I need to put into stress relief, it looks like. Well, that's the Abomination. They already have all their skills, so I don't need to worry about him. You I already kind of covered, except for Weakening Curse. So let's buy you Weakening Curse. And then everybody who's first level is pretty much configured how I want. For now, anyway. So, alright, Lanesi, please go and get some stress relief. Rue, oh dear. What is your thing? You will only meditate. Damn it! I should have looked at that first. I don't really want to cancel treatment because I think I lose the money. Alright, well, I guess we're not stress relieving Rue this time around. Oh well. Alright. That's probably gonna do it. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I would greatly appreciate it. If you are subscribed, please like and share the video as you will. Anything you do like that to show support for the channel is greatly appreciated. Really helps keep me going on this thing that I do, making videos for you. I think we are probably good at this point. I'm making racist jokes, so I think we're done. I'm doing accents. That's always how I know it's time to stop. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.